And so, we are in war in episode 8 of this Let's Learn series. The United Empires decide to declare war on me, the Hisho, and the Sophons. And, well, we're basically having to deal with them. So this guy right here, he's at war with 3 guys. He's more or less cold war with him. And he's at peace with these other guys here. We've begun to assault one of his plants. I could invade it, but we're not going to do that. And he's got some plants up here too. And he's also got a fleet down here that I'm sort of just keeping impounded for the moment. And for some reason this guy's sending a fleet from here to Ganai directly. Don't know why. He does have access to my systems though, so I guess that's fine. For this Let's Play, we'll be fighting the United Empire. More or less, we'll be doing what I should have been doing for so long ago. I want to do a very direct ship tutorial on what you need to do to build your ships and all that. Because I really just haven't been doing that. And it's about time you guys got to see it. So, we'll wait a couple turns and get the technology I need to expand my ship space. Apparently I now have 4 Transvine, which is nice. Probably because I colonized Pictor there. Looks like he's dropped a fleet here. And he's starting to invade there for some reason. This guy's just an armed scout, so we'll leave him here to wait. So right now, I'm holding this sector. They're going to be attacking here like mad because I'm holding that sector. I've got 2 fleets here to hold it. I could invade it and get 100% invasion at any time. Up here, 2 fleets defending. We're pretty much just defending at this point. We're not really assaulting this guy. I could assault him, but there's just really no interest in me doing that right now. Probably want to take serious, as I said in the last episode, but for now we're taking this down here. I think this is actually Aruga. So this is actually their special plant, that purple orange one right there. Yeah, let's end turn. And start building the battleships. And the dreadnoughts. And there it is. Extra space for my ships. Nicely done, her. You have this. You can build this next, I guess. The Sophons here want Hyperion. We'll give it to him. Why not? And you guys want Jada next. Why not? We'll give him one of those, I guess. I should probably look at what I'm giving away because, well, I suppose we're not really doing terrible at giving away some of this stuff. I got plenty of resources of, bunch of stuff here. Plenty of trade routes to go. Anyhow. You're new guys, you can just defend there. It looks like the Hisho are actually defending me, which is fine. Because, I'm right next to the United Empire and these guys are at war with them, so we're friendly with each other. That's fine with me. If you look at the Hisho right now, they're pretty much at war with everyone except for these guys. And your guys the same way. Alright, so enough of that. Let's get into the shipbuilding. I've wasted enough of your time waiting at this point. So, in past episodes, I've been sort of like building up these ships and making plans for how they're supposed to interact with the enemy. At this point, now I sort of solidify what each of these ships are going to be doing. So the scout's a scout, the colony's a colony ship. Let's start with siegecraft here, and we'll modify it. I now have extra ship space storage on here. And what I'm going to do is we're going to knock down Siege 1, and I want to put on AP bombs. AP bombs let me decimate populations, and decimating populations will basically make it a lot easier to invade with troops. The siege here is just sort of help with invading, but the troops are the guys who are really going to do all the difference and all that. I could stick more on this guy, but I think he's more or less ready and out of the way. So here's Siegecraft free, and we're going to apply that design. That's the new Siegecraft. We'll do a quick look at some of this other stuff too. I'm actually thinking of modifying my gunboats. The way gunboats are right now, I kind of think that they might be better suited to have bombers instead of fighters. So we'll do that. And I don't really have anything in here because, you know, they aren't really... There's cheap ships that throw out. They don't have any special bonuses for support. But I want to make sure they have like a long-range missile. We'll actually knock this down. I probably could have 2 fighters on here now because I've got the space for it. These guys, I want to make them more or less the weapon boat that, you know, they're pretty much planned to be. Having 2 bombers, that's fine. We'll put on a couple more weapons here. So these guys are now set up more or less to have heavy kinetic ability, I guess. The weapon boat, these guys initially designed them to be kind of heavy with the missiles and all that. Now we're going to start upping, I guess, their shields and their armor. I noticed that the United Empire that I'm fighting, they have really high missile, attacks. So let's just dump a couple in here. I want to dump at least one shield just in case they decide, to start upping their shield ability, and just keep this guy's flak high. And we'll keep them more or less the same. So there's weapon boat 3 out of the way. And then the defender, he is like, he's got point defense, he's got some armor, he's got some engines, he's got some repair. I'm not really too, I don't really care if he's got this point defense on him, but I'll leave it on him, I guess, for this. I'm really more interested in having like the engines and repair on him, and then the armor's also good to keep him alive. Since I have the actual defense, I guess we could like dump a little bit more defense on him. So again, we'll dump this on him, I guess, or maybe dump that on him. I guess we're going to dump off the point defense because it's not really too important, as I said, and go like this. That's a lot of flak resistance though to put on this guy. They'll just take up all the space nicely. We'll leave this guy like this for now, and this guy will be also more... I'll keep like getting space on these guys, and I can just put more defenses in like beam weapons or whatever when I get to the chance for it. For now, it's fine how he's just set up to be really flak resistant, because the United Empire is sending flak heavy guys at him. So those are like, the 4 ships that I more or less had, the core fighting ships. Now I'm basically going to be adding to it with the battleship and the dreadnought. And you can see from these ships, they're basically very much like the destroyer here, with like, the negative ship cost and star system. And of course, much like, before, the dreadnought is really, really expensive compared to the battleships and the cruisers, and they're really expensive compared to the destroyers and the corvette. And they have a lot more health and space to make up for it, and command points, but their invasion also goes down to bigger ships. So, what I want to do with this guy, I want to stick on... Well, let's put it this way. I guess with this guy here, I don't mind sticking on a bunch of fighters, so let's just put on 4 fighters. And this guy, well, let me put on 4 fighters, put on 2 of each. They'll be battle-oriented. And really the purpose of the dreadnought will be to just send these guys, out to fight. I'll stick on a scout. I like the scout modules in the dreadnought because it increases their accuracy on their weapons. This guy's going to have lots of weapons. I could put on a repair, but I like to keep the repair on the weaker ships because this thing can load up on weapons a lot better. So let's get to that, I guess. But we'll start loading up on these weapons. You want to be melee, you want to be medium. We're going to put a lot of defense on this guy for stars, I guess. We'll dump on at least 10 of this. We'll put on at least 8 shields, and we'll put on 6 deflect. So there's just this, a quick setup. I'm basically making them really top heavy with flak because that's what the United Empire's saying, and they might eventually send some shield heavy guys. I'm not really too worried about the fight because battles usually don't get that far into the battle, so don't care about it. We'll put on. I'm actually gonna make this guy really kinetic heavy because, well, I assume the battle will last long enough that this guy will make it into, easier ranges, and this guy will actually survive the battle too. And you know what? We're actually gonna go in here and dump at least 1 armor on him, I guess. I could dump a power, but we'll dump armor since this guy's gonna have less weapons. Be in range, you please, and then you want to be melee. And that's not really set up too well because there's extra space. That's coming from his armor here. 2, 3, 5. No, let's just dump a little bit of this stuff. And I'll put on a power module because it's usually best to have the power module on these bigger ships. And we'll set him like more like this. He's top heavy in sort of like the kinetics, and this is sort of like a similar to the weapon boat design. Though he's got a scout on him too, and he's got bombers and fighters. And the purpose of this guy will just be, the capital ship, or like the Sovereign class if you're like a Trekkie or whatever else. This is a big guy who leads the fleet. I'll get a nice little thing about it. And we're gonna go in here. I'm gonna make the battleship. We'll put in a flak on this guy, and we'll go in here. You know what? We're gonna put repair on this guy. And this guy will be like a repair guy. He'll be a bigger, badder, meaner version of the defender. Put on our armor on him. And the whole point of this guy will be just to sort of be like a sort of advanced defender. He's not as good as the defender, but he'll do the trick. Not a whole lot of space, so 1, 2, 1. I guess, they're all pretty much balanced, weapon-wise and all that. I'm making it so these advanced guys have more flak and shield for the United Empire. And this guy, he's just like a heavier mechanic. We'll call this guy... We'll call him mechanic, why not? So change that. Wait, so he's now a mechanic. The core guy, this guy's core reason of existence will be it's more or less to fight of fighters, and be like the type of guy who just hangs back and repairs people. The capital ship, he carries the bombers and some fighters, and he has a power thing to help the himself as well as his fellow ships. That will eventually get upgraded a little bit. The defender. Just gonna go in here real quick. The defender, I'm leaving him to be sort of like, he like moves the fleet more so than he's like repair, but he can also help with that, and that's what I'm leaving him to be doing. And I'll probably start upping his like shields and flak later, this guy, just to explain what I'll be doing with him. The weapon boat, I guess we're leaving him sort of be like a weapon boat. His only real course in action is just to attack and destroy other guys. The gunboat, we're gonna leave him like as a sort of a gunboat. His only mission is just to destroy stuff. I'll want to eventually dump on, I guess. Well, he doesn't have any armor, I guess, but I do want to have at least a couple more shield or flak just to sort of even out his stuff in the siegecraft sieges. So if I hover over all this stuff, all these guys, you have the gunboat. He's like your he sends out a couple of bombers to destroy stuff. He's got a little bit of siege, but his main focus is just to obliterate stuff I want to eventually upgrade his shield and flak so it's a little bit more solid, I guess, but it's more or less well made, this guy, to not really be like the main destroyer of the fleet, but he contributes to it in like, you know, a way like, say, the supporter long range type of guy does. The weapon boat, he's a little bit more stockier than the gunboat, and he, like, you know, he really whams into him. You know, I'll explain this in a really simple way. The guy who destroys the enemy fleet, the guy who, like, supports the weapon boat and destroying the enemy fleet and perhaps helps invade. I may change that so, like, this, he's got balanced bombers in the near future, so he can be both fleet attacking or you know, surface planet attacking. The defender sort of is just a helper. He's not really made to fight, but he'll do it okay. The capital ship is just a little bit of everything. He's got a little bit of fighters, he's got a little bit of bombers. He can, like, you know, attack. I would possibly want to have him so he has a repair on him as well, but for now, he doesn't need it. It's going to cost me a ton to keep dumping all this, like, stuff over here. It's not really too important if this guy is able to repair. As long as he just, you know, soaks up a little bit of damage and he doesn't take, you know, too many hits, he should be fine. And this guy right here, the mechanic, he I would like to, guess, have more flak resistance on this guy to get, you know, up to 60 or higher. And he's just like the guy who, like, sort of repairs, you know, the other guys. So anyhow, I got myself basically a balanced fleet, and what I'm supposed to, you know, what I'm trying to do with this fleet, I'm just making them so they can combat the enemy, whatever they throw at me. If I find, like, the Hisho, they're coming at me with, like, lots of fighters and bombers, then I'll make a couple, I won't make defenders rather, I'll make capital ships, and the mechanic guy here who has the point defense systems, he can come in and just try and deal with the stuff. The weapon boats can also, like, help, but they can be more, let's blow up the enemy's ships so they don't hurt me. Anyhow, I built all these ships up. Now it's, like, time to start, you know, really get into earnest, just filling out these fleets, making sure to kill everyone. You can just destroy that abomination right there. Just auto it, I don't care what he does, he's dead. Okay, you've got... Ooh, I like that. That's good too. Oh, let's get these. Let's get defense. But anyhow, basically, right now, in research, I'm, like, sort of researching some of these attack things. So let's get those out of the way. What's this one do? I'm supposed to get this Nexus to have it. Don't know what it does, but I'll find out what it does. And you basically do this, and you... Okay, I want to get this power thing for my ships because it'll basically increase the damage on my fleets. Well, so if I have, like, those weapon boat and battleships, like, not the battleship, but the capital ship, their job will be not just to power up their own weapons, they'll be to power up the other guys and their fleet's weapons. That's the good thing with this power module right here. I mean, it's not a bad thing leaving them so that they power up their own weapons, but there's better ways that they can be operable. What's this one do? That one's really nice. And you do even better. Alright, well, there's that stuff up there I want to eventually research. I'm just going to come down here first, and we'll research some of these cheap technologies I left out of the way. I actually want to get this sooner than later, don't I? Yes, I want that planetary exploitation, and then we'll come here and get you. I also want to possibly get this stuff down here. Like, I want to get this down here. That will get rid of red anomalies. We'll get all this stuff for now, and we'll worry about the other stuff later. So, at this point, I got, you know, a couple fleets here and there. Notice how, like, this is 12 and this is 10. This guy, I guess, has less defenders, so he actually gets less movement. But the more defenders I have in these fleets, the faster they'll move. which is good to know. Okay, you're still here. You move at 11, you've actually got an odd amount of defenders in you. Anyhow, at this point, it's time to start building up a couple, how can I say this? A couple more ships. So we're going to go in here. I guess I actually should be building some of these psychological instruments up. But I also want to get, like, the capital ship made. And, like, the mechanics and stuff like that. And basically just add these into my fleets. Mix them around, have them all ready to go. We'll build some capital ships in these bigger, better producing systems. Build a mechanic. You're building a colony, that's fine. Because you're, I want to colonize a gas plant over there. We'll make you build. We'll build a capital ship from you, I guess. Send you ahead. Benny's gonna be building this stuff for a bit. We'll make a mechanic afterwards. You really need to build. You. A mechanic. Looks like Sal's actually coming along to be a really nice producing system, so build that on you, and then we'll build this. Now Gatria. This might be a good system later to start producing stuff from. Player's Workshop does what? This actually increases production. I'm actually tempted to go in here and try to start this to production. I think just like another developing sector. We'll actually get all this stuff out though first. But we're building a couple ships now. That's how I basically want to be. I'm actually going to go through all this stuff now and make sure I can basically make all these systems as good as they can be. So any system that doesn't have like this, I want to get on. I want this for sure. Make sure I have trade routes. I actually want this helium plant right away. So I can get this stuff going. I will colonize that in a moment. You're still developing. Our cab is still... Well, I could get that one now, but we'll keep developing you. Let's get this one. I don't want that one to thing here. Alright, so these systems are more or less developing themselves the way I want them to be. For the rest of this episode, let's just conquer Zancor, I guess, out of its misery. And well, at this point, I'm sort of establishing how my faction is going to play, and then we're going to start building up the fleets to make it happen. Excellent. You're got yourself Cyrus Guild. Now I can dump on our stuff on him. I actually could want him to get Fierce Foe soon, because this will let them get more damage disability on other heroes. So that's a really good ability to have if you're making this guy fight other heroes. That's who you really want to fight with your hero fleets, the big badass fleets. Let's get him fleet repair. Deal broken. Alright, so we're actually getting to the point where it's time to do cooperation agreements. So I guess we're going to tie this into this episode. So this guy's offering a cooperation agreement, and we're going to accept it. How cooperation agreements work, they actually cut your trade, but it's only for a small duration. And then after that duration, you get equal trade as you usually do, and then after that duration, you get more trade. So cooperation agreements are like long-term abilities to make friends with people. If this guy survives long enough to really benefit from it, I'll be getting more trade value for trading with this guy. So good to have. I may want to do that the same with the pilgrims up here. So let's see if he might be up for it. So if you go in here, he's actually out of these blue sophons, but whatever. Cooperation agreements lets him like it lets him basically trade with me for more, and lets me trade with him for more. I'm actually losing money. I should watch that. That's because of the trade going down. So he's willing to do this. What will happen is if you look at, I think you can hover over it. For the first 10 turns, you'll get negative 50% on trade root effects. 10 to 15 turns after that, you'll get 0% as normally, and after 15 turns, you get a whole lot of trade. So in the long term, you'll benefit from these agreements with people if you keep them. So we'll offer that one. And I guess we should start thinking about allying with someone too. I was actually hoping to possibly ally with this guy, but apparently he's not interested. This guy's actually now allied with him, so he's at, you know, if you look at these guys, they got the same relations with each other, with all the other people. So he's at cold war with him, so is he, and they're at war with the Horatio. You haven't really made discussion with anyone. I might actually be tempted to ally with this guy. If I ally with this guy, it'll make him basically anyone I go to war with. Anyone I go to war with, he'll go to war with if he stays in the alliance, and anyone that declares war on us will basically be declaring war on both of us if we choose. So I can actually create an alliance, and yeah, it'll be great. Honestly, it's fun experiencing new explosives. And I actually want to possibly take up a bunch of this stuff here too. This is a nice thing about basically possibly trading stuff like this. Well, great. Yeah, let's ally with dangerous fools that we do not trust, or not. So I can pick up one of these technologies, I guess. Well, let me take up both. Oh, I could trade stuff with him too. See, what will he want for it? He will want something of equal, more or less value, so... That's really not pushing it the other way. That did. So I can probably get a couple technologies from, dealing with this guy. Let's actually take off this one. And... So we'll trade them two technologies for two technologies, I guess, and we'll create a alliance. What this will do... We're now allied, and what happens is... I'm basically now at Cold War with this guy because this guy was at Cold War with him. We're peace with all these guys, and we're both at war with him. And as a result, basically, I'm basically tied into my relations with this guy for a few turns. If I go in here and click on him, alliance, 15 turns. So for 50 turns, we're stuck with each other unless we leave the alliance for some reason. Okay, so this is accepted. So there's a couple agreements made. Not going to be really caring about the Horatio. They're fine over there, I guess. And these guys I'm war with. The Hisho and the Pilgrims, or the Hisho and the Sophons over here. I guess I might want to try and trade with the Sophons. So let's see if I can do that. These guys are right next to me. And they aren't, like, exactly happy to have me around, but whatever. Let's see if I can get a cooperating agreement with them. Okay, so he's probably not so interested in that. We won't worry about that. The Hisho... guess he's not interested either. So we won't really worry about these guys. Can't really get any deals going with them. Let's go fix the other problem here. Because I've gone and said, ooh, look at all this. Basically gone and cut my characters. I'm actually here my cash. At the same time, note, it's also all these systems are doing really, really well. And except for these two that don't have this stuff, and Linux, which doesn't have two of them. That's easily fixed though. I want to go in here. I'm just gonna cut my resources, make a little bit of money, and I'm actually at the point where I could probably cut even more if I want to. What about Vene? Vene is blockaded. He's blockading me. That's why they're unhappy. Let's auto them. Okay, let's just go back into this. So that's no longer blockaded. It's not a happy system. Protected by my fleets. You'll notice that, by the way, if there's a green circle around him is protected by fleets. Right now, it's the only system that's protected by fleets. The rest are attacking the enemy. Let's actually bump this down a little bit more. I'm not so worried about dropping my taxes at this point, or increasing them. Let's drop it this far, because I'm not like too, really happy. Want to keep these guys too happy. I want to make some money at this point, and I'll go into these systems like these ones, and I'm actually going to start buying these structures. So we go to Amador, and I'll buy the unlimited highways. That'll cost like all my money. And this place down here, how long will it take me to... You notice that gets a lot cheaper as it gets built. So I can build that. That'll make them a little bit happier. You notice that I hover over these guys, I guess, or if I go in here, their approval, a lot of it's coming from expansion disapproval. So these were some of my later colonized planets. And they're just unhappy because they're like the later colonized planets, and the rest of them are fine, but these ones will take a little bit longer to build. That's fine too. You're still exactly happy. It's fine. Lynx needs to build you and you. I can't build either of these because I don't have the money, but maybe I'll have it next time. Notice that as well that since I allied this pink sofa, I can see his ships. That's one of the benefits of allying with someone. You can see where their ships are based. So he's got ships here. He's attacking the United Empire down here. Over here, over there. And we're doing pretty good, I guess. This guy's got a fleet here. We'll blow him up out of the sky. Whoops. All that battle. And we'll wait a few turns while I conquer that one plant there. Slowly building the ships in other sectors too, which is good. And I'm developing additional abilities to attack people and also research stuff. Also good. I want to make sure I'm always developing at this point. Oh good, I built my colony ship. We can send him optics to research here. We're going to send this guy to colonize the last of the planets in my sector, Gemini. It'll give me the platform of Vias, which is not the greatest thing, but the reason I'm coming to colonize this system is for the sake of colonization. So here's a thing. Pilgrims have accepted the following offer from allies. According to alliance rules, your new status as a state alliance will be. So here's where alliances can occur. I can basically out the pilgrims. I'll peace the Sophons. I'll be at war with the Horatio. So I can either leave the alliance or accept. Well, actually accept because I want to be happy with these guys. I want to be happy with the Pink Sovereign, so accept. And as a result of this, if I go in here, I'm now at war with these guys. I guess we're at Cold War with him. It's actually soon to be war with him. I guess it'll be war next turn. We're now allied, all three of us, and more or less our relations will be the same, or should be the same, I guess, next turn. Do this, and we'll do this. So I'm now I've got like 2 allies instead of just 1. And earlier it was too many people I want to be basically partying it out with. Because if I go in here, the Horatio, well, the Horatio aren't doing as well anymore. But they're like the 2 biggest guys. So the 3 biggest guys are all, me included, are all allied. And then the other guys down there are all withering and all that. Alliance starting, you have falling status of other empires. So I'm at Cold War with the Horatio. I'm at war with the Horatio, and pretty much that's the only real changes. The issue is accepted the following offer from the Sophons still want peace, so we'll accept. And I'll put us at peace with them. War's been declared between us, that's fine. The Sing can start building the optics center. And we'll actually get these fleets to start converging where I need to. Build a couple of those. I'm actually going to get these guys to start, I think, converging on Banning, I guess. Wow, the pink Sophons are everywhere now. Of course, at this point, they're also at war with the Horatio up here. And Horatio may start coming down to cause problems for them. We will see. So I'm allied with this guy up here, and I can see his fleets, around if necessary. Where's his fleets? Doesn't look like the yellow pilgrims have a whole lot of fleets for some reason. Or maybe I just can't see them or whatever. I should be able to. Let's just go in here. I'll blow up this fleet here. He's actually got some decent stuff this time around. So let's put engineering. Just repair the weapon boat a little bit and damage all them. You notice that the weapon boat actually got healed from that because he pretty much was healing the entire time. You can level up and get this. And this is basically 6 command points right here, all bunched up. I'm not going to send it to like that right there, but we'll send it over here, I guess. To the fire system. And we're just basically going to start gathering up stuff and building up new fleets and getting everything hunky-dory. Okay, Lynx is down here, hating me quite a bit. I have money now to buy both of these things pretty much, so we'll do that. Make them both happy with me. After that's built, I don't know what to do. We'll just go with this and this for now. So we'll get happiness there, and they won't be so unhappy. Temos has all the structures pretty much, so bit concerned with the happiness here, but whatever. Slowly conquering his one planet there that I'm after. Bit of stuff done. Salo can build this. Salo's kind of far away to, I guess, really bother with doing other stuff and population up. That's fine. So allies have accepted the following thing. They want Cold War with the Horatio. Yeah, I can accept that. Stay in alliance with them a little bit longer. Galtur built himself a new ship. We'll start building this here. And these are all research, which is fine. You know what? We're going to build our capital ship here. Galtur can send him up here. And Camus is settled. Excellent. Get those going. Get you going. These are both pretty small, so... Well, I guess I already got that one. Let's get both of these and then worry about you doing later. You almost made it there? No, you haven't. Send the capital ship down here. Alright, well, I guess we won't conquer the planet. I'm actually gotta go at this point. But I pretty much covered what I wanted to, and a little bit more with the alliances, so I hope you've enjoyed, and take care.